live show, Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and PF Radio. Check out our website at properfootball.co.uk.
Okay, great. You know what? Last week that ended so abruptly, and this week it didn't. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, welcome. It's Sunday. It's Proper Football Live. Oh boy, have we got a show tonight. We've got some funnies. We've got some vintage clips. Some of Mr. Callie. We got lots and lots and lots to talk about in the ups and downs throughout the football pyramid, as well as some of the weekend's results as well. So what a show we got in store. But let us start by saying hello to Nigel. And how's your week been, sir?
How's my week been? It's been quiet and busy in some ways. Yeah, it's been all right. It's been good. It's been a good weekend sport. Good day today for Man City fans. Yeah.
No, cool. Greg, welcome back.
You're not getting me, are they?
You're all right.
We're just about, mate. Yes, you're a bit freezy, but you are. We are getting you, mate. Hello, right, Greg. Okay. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, I've not changed anything, so it should work all right. But yeah, you'll have to keep me posted, mate.
Okay, so just a few.
Can you hear me? Or...
Yeah, can hear you. You're fine, mate. Right. Nigel is having a few issues. Okay, right. We're going to crack on while Nigel has a little look at his issues. I'm just going to check it out on here and make sure that it's only on here. Let's see. Oh, well, we're a few minutes behind there. Right, folks, get involved. Let us know you're there. Just letting you know it's still 3-1. Liverpool, Tottenham. We'll keep you in the loop on that. Where do we start? I'll tell you what I want to start with. Last week, having John Barnes on was absolutely brilliant. Such a good show. The one thing I just wanted to say was, and I wish I'd have said it at the time, actually, one great thing about John Barnes last week, Nigel, that I picked up on, Greg, you've watched it, is how he was so proud of the Muriel being in a working class estate in Liverpool, because, as he quite rightly said, football's a working class sport. I only wish I could think that was the case going forward, because I do believe that it is less and less a working class man's sport now, and that is certainly an incentive from the Premier League and the higher leagues. Definitely making it more of a different type of sport now. The working class element dying out.
3-2, Gal.
3-2. All right, we're going to keep an eye on that one, folks. But yeah, brilliant show last week. And he was great. Wasn't he, Nige? Don't know if we've got Nige.
Guys, I don't have any major problems. I'm going to try and log off and back on again.
Okay, no worries, mate. Okay, so while Nigel's doing that, Greg, let's have a little look at what's been going on over the weekend.
Yeah.
And we'll give Nigel a bit of time to sort himself out. Right, okay, so obviously we'll touch on all the ups and downs throughout the lower leagues and the non-league pyramid. Obviously, the non-league pyramid finishing up. There's some amazing stories coming out of non-league. There really is. But Greg, let's first of all have a look at some of the fixtures that have gone off. Let me get it right. I'm just going to take Callie off of the screen. Hang on. All right, that's it. Right, Callie's going to try and sort himself out, having a few issues there with his internet, I suspect. Right, okay. So, weekend results, mate. Obviously started on Friday night. Arsenal. I'll wait for Callie to come on. I've got a funny picture.
Blackpool Friday.
What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one, Sorry. Hang on. Yeah, so Blackpool, Millwall getting a 3-2, keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah. We'll watch that one, to be fair. Really good game, that. Really enjoyed that game.
Blackpool,
yeah, it was. Yeah. Basically, Millwall had to win to obviously get in playoffs, and obviously Blackpool had to win to stay up. So it was your proper, typical end-to-end game. Do you know what I mean? Blackpool's defending was a little bit kind of suspect at times, and I think that's probably why Millwall got the result really, because you could see why Blackpool were down there.
And
but
they
had plenty of chances.
Relegated now?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Blackpool are down.
Wigan, but we will touch on them. Let's just cover off some of the results, and then we can touch on all the ups and downs.
Yeah.
Okay, so quickly touching on Premier League, Palace beating West Ham 4-3. Forest losing. Forest, we'll touch on that in a bit, but they are looking curious, losing 2-1 at Brentford, who are having an astonishing season. You've got to give the big shout out to Brighton, 6-0 at Wolves.
Brilliant, yeah. Made changes as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be the team of the season, surely. I know Arsenal have done well, but they've lost it a bit towards the end. But Brighton have got to be the surprise of the season, haven't they?
Well, do you know what? Out of all the Premier League teams, they're the ones that I actually enjoy watching the most. Like, I think they play great football. They're exciting to watch. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to, if you're with someone who don't like football, just tell them to sit down and watch Brighton game. Yeah, it's great football to watch. I know Man City's the obvious one, but for a team where they're all honest, a lot of young players in there as well. I think it's brilliant. I really do. And hopefully they manage to get Europe. Because they deserve it.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. We're just waiting for Nigel to sort himself out. He's having a few issues of getting Nigel back on. Stay with us, folks. We've got some great stuff. We're going to be just covering off some of the results over the weekend. Then we're going to be looking also at all the ups and downs. And there's been some amazing stories coming out of non-league football, both in terms of promotion and survival. Stick with us. If you want to get involved, just give us a shout on the chat. Whichever platform you're looking on, we will pick them up. Any questions, far away. Got some great vintage footage of our man Callie playing for Derby. Some amazing football, and you'll see what a quality player Nigel was when we show that. Got some great vintage Cruyff coming up with an amazing but strange penalty. We've also got some funnies as well to show you. I think covering off now in the Championship. Big results in the Championship for you. I mean, West Brom getting a 2-1 win at Norwich.
Yeah. Keeps them alive, doesn't it, in the playoff hunt?
Yeah. Sheffield obviously up with obviously up before this, but a 4-1 win against Preston. Reading and Wigan, a 1-1 draw, looking like pretty much down. Huddersfield getting a win today, weren't they?
So Wigan are gone. Reading, I think they're not officially gone because they can still catch Rotherham. But I think if Rotherham get anything against Borough tomorrow, then I think that's them gone.
Yeah, absolutely. They've only got to get a point.
To be fair, I think Reading, they've been teetering with relegation for a few years, haven't they? They've been kind of flirting with it a little bit, and they've kind of managed to stay up. But they I've been there a few times, and they don't get the fan base to fill the ground. You've heard about financial problems. They've recently sacked their manager, so it kind of feels like they're on a bit of a downward kind of spiral. Do you know what I mean? But
still no Nigel, folks. He's having a few problems there. Let's just say hello to Ray Cook. Hello, Ray. How you doing, mate? And of course, Ben Cliff's on. We're going to be touching on a lot of that, and we will obviously bring that up when we touch on all the ups and downs there, Ben. Right, okay. Yesterday's results in League One. Derby won, Portsmouth won. I've got to shout out to Portsmouth. Something like 3,000 fans going up there. Nothing to play for. Fantastic support, Portsmouth. Definitely deserved to be in a better league, but not this year. Derby's still in there with a shout for playoffs. Is that Nigel back with us? Let's give him a look-see. Well, that looks better.
Yeah, it's because I went in the other room. I'm right next to the router now. I went to the other room and I think it was struggling with the signal.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's a lot better. Good evening there to Robert Croucher. How are you, sir? Right, let's all right, I'm going to come on. So we're getting a few messages through about some of the non-league stuff going on there. We'll touch on that in a minute. Let's just quickly highlight finishing off League One. What we got on there? Plymouth obviously 1-0 and getting their promotion. We'll touch on all the promotion in a bit. 3-0 win for Sheffield Wednesday. Anything standing out there for you then, Greg?
Yeah, so Ipswich beat Exeter 6-0. So like them and Plymouth both promoted.
Big result, yeah.
Accrington lost at home to Cambridge, so that puts Cambridge as safe. Accrington down. Not officially, but I think they need like a 16-goal swing, so they're down. As good as. So that's pretty much League One. Going on to League Two, obviously Leyton Orient got promoted, I think, last week. But obviously they was champions. So they obviously celebrated, even though they lost, I think, 2 or 3-0 at home to Stockport. Big result for Stockport because obviously Northampton.
They lost 3-0, yeah. 3-0
Yeah, so it's obviously a big result for Stockport because Northampton dropped points at home to Bradford. So it goes down to the final day for the third promotion place in League Two between Northampton and Stockport. And I think Stockport have got Hartlepool at home. So you'd fancy them in that. But Northampton have got to go to Tranmere and win, you'd think. Otherwise, they're going to blow it for the second year in a row.
Is this a case of Leyton Orient being on the beach?
I would have expected so, yeah. But to be fair, though, like I think if you're champions and you've won the league and you know you're going to get the trophy presentation on that day, I still think you want to put in a performance and sort of, you don't want to be losing 3-0 at home to anyone, do you, really?
No.
I saw the celebrations after and it did look like they had a good time, but it probably takes a bit of a gloss off it, I guess, a little bit, but at the same time, they've done their job, haven't they? So they've, I guess, unlike some teams that are on the beach, where, like, you look at a Watford, for example, on the beach and they've had a shit season. At least, if Leyton Orient are on the beach, at least they've had a good season and done their job.
So, I get that in there, mate, didn't you? Right, okay. So Stevenage getting a 2-0 win to give them promotion, didn't they?
Yeah, they was promoted as well, Stevenage, yeah. Hartlepool relegated as well. So Hartlepool and Rochdale in the National League next year.
Hartlepool and Rochdale, National League. Wow. Nige, obviously you're back on there. Any outstanding results for you over the weekend? Obviously, we've not touched on any from today yet, but any outstanding for you? Derby hanging on in there for the playoffs.
Derby in there, yeah. I'm with you. I think Brighton have been the team of the season this year.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ipswich finished well, 6-0.
Yeah. Do you think Derby can make it?
Things that we talked about 3 weeks ago about going down and winning, going up, are more or less come true. Really, what we said has more or less happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Good evening to Andrew Brown. Andrew, mate, we will talk about Weymouth. Don't worry. The miraculous escape from the clutches of relegation that was after an awful season, but we will touch on that as well, Andrew, a little bit. But yeah, absolutely. Just there, got to respect the job Gary O'Neill's done at Bournemouth as well. Yeah, he's quite right there. Bournemouth getting a stonking result today.
That's them safe now, isn't it? You think?
Yeah, that's them. You've got to be. Yeah. Before we move into the non-league, let's just have a little gander at the Premier League table, and then we can put that to rest. Let's just check on that result. Is it still 3-2 there, Greg?
Still 3-2. Yeah. About 5-6 minutes left with stoppage time, I would say.
Okay. That actually puts Liverpool up to 5th and drops Tottenham into 6th place. Brighton's sitting in 8th there, aren't they? But they got a lot of games in hand.
3 games in hand on Spurs, yeah.
So there's every possibility they could get themselves tucked into that 5th spot. Give them some European football next year. So Man City have gone top of the league now with a game in hand over Arsenal. Bottle jobs.
I don't think they're bottled yet. I just think City are flying at the moment. They're just building up steam, and it's come at the right time in the season. And we all, we discussed the Man City Arsenal match with a 6-pointer, and it's turned out that way, isn't it?
I think as well. I think like if you look at, I don't really judge Arsenal off the back of the Arsenal Man City game. The only kind of criticism of them in that game was the fact that they didn't go there and have a pop. And I thought from kickoff they'd be in their faces and making it hard for them, because whenever Man City struggle, it's always teams that get in their faces and don't let them play. Do you know what I mean? You look at Palace when they've played them in the past. Brentford went there and won. It's certain that's when City struggle. So I was pouring that aspect, but the bottle job side of it, I think you look at the Southampton game at home and you look at the West Ham game away. 2-0 up away at West Ham. Man City do not lose that game 2-0. and Man City at home to Southampton don't draw with Southampton. That's the difference.
And I mean, you're right. I mean, the Man City game, Nigel, you're absolutely on the money there. But definitely, I think some of the other results they've had.
Like when you're saying to get in the face, Greg, is they only get in your face if you let them get in your face. If City are flying, and they're on form.
But what I mean is there are teams that have gone there and done that, like a bit of a no fear factor. And don't get me wrong, it can backfire, but I just couldn't believe. I know obviously we're going back a week or so now, but I just couldn't believe when I'm watching that how comfortable it was for them. They just sat back and let them play. It was weird.
Yeah, a lot of Arsenal fans have criticised the team for not giving it a go. They're not criticising the team for losing, I don't think. I mean, look, they're a bloody machine, Man City. They really are. But Arsenal did themselves no favours on that night, without a doubt. Just to mention there from Ben, and absolutely, even if Arsenal finished second, that's still a great season for them. Nobody expected Arsenal to be challenging for the title at the beginning of the season. You're absolutely right, isn't it? I mean, Arsenal, right at the beginning of the season, gentlemen, I think we pretty much all agreed this was going to be a Liverpool-Man City 2-horse race, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Whatever way they look at it, Arsenal have had a fantastic season. Ben's also mentioning there that Fulham gave Man City a good game today. Man City are just so clinical. You're absolutely right, Ben. Still 3-2?
Still 3-2, yeah.
Okay, cool.
6 minutes injury time.
Right, okay, cool. Arsenal. Chelsea... Look how far down they are, but they probably creep up a little bit there. They got some games in hand. So, I think we're all agreed. Ray, he thinks it's City's title. I think we all do now, don't we? Newcastle, are they going to make Champions League football? I think they are.
I think they will now, yeah.
And no one expected that. So, Brighton, Arsenal, Newcastle, all had exceptional seasons, no matter what happens from here on in. I think you've got to look at Brentford have had a cracking, Fulham have had a good season. Aston Villa have crept up there right at the end and going to be having a great season. Poor seasons, well, you've got to be looking at Chelsea, Liverpool, although they're in fifth at the minute. I don't think they'll hold on to fifth myself. I think Brighton will get it, but that's
even still, they was expecting to be right.
Yeah, it's a poor season. Yeah. Chelsea's season's just probably the worst in the league there, without a doubt. Okay, the going downs. It's currently Southampton pretty much done. Then Everton, Leicester, Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and I don't see West Ham.
No, I don't.
Into that.
I don't. I think it'd be 3 from them 5, wouldn't it?
I still think it'd be Forest goes down.
Well, Leicester got a game in hand.
Along with Everton and Southampton, I can't see them two getting out of it now.
Well, both Leicester and Everton have got game in hand over Leeds and Nottingham Forest.
Well, Leicester have got Everton tomorrow. 3-3, Gary. 3-3. 3-3, Richarlison.
My favourite player, not.
I can't bring this up. Mr. Crouch, fucking hell. Oh, sorry. I know this has been discussed before, but considering how much City have spent compared with Arsenal, you might be better off playing FIFA in manager mode. I mean, it's money, isn't it? You buy success now. You don't earn it so much, do you? Or you do earn it, but it's not earn, is it? Because it's paid for. If you've got money,
you've still got to have the manager to go with it, haven't you? I mean, you've still got to have the manager to go with it. I mean, Guardiola's got to be one of the best coaches in the world, if not.
Without a doubt.
So you can buy all these expensive players, just like Chelsea proved. If you don't know how to put them together, it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? If you don't know how to put it together,
that's a great point. Chelsea, all the money they've spent, good point. And I think fair play to Newcastle. I think they've done it well. They've gone about it the right way, in my view. Liverpool, they're not big spenders, are they, really? When you think about it, they're not massive spenders. I mean, they're big spenders compared to a lot of clubs, but
There's talk of Mane going back next season, isn't there?
Sorry?
There's talk of Mane going back next season.
Well, they've certainly missed him, haven't they?
Oh, what's he done here?
4-3
Liverpool.
Sorry?
4-3 Liverpool, straight from the kickoff.
4-3?
It went 3-3 Richarlison. Now it's 4-3.
Some game, that one, isn't
it? Unreal. Right. Okay. So on paper right now, if everyone wins their games, or if everyone wins their games in that bottom 5 clubs, going down will be Southampton, Forest, and Leeds United. If everybody wins,
I think Everton are going to go down. I'll put it out there because they don't score goals. I expect Leicester to beat Everton tomorrow.
Oh,
of course, yeah, that's the big game. Yeah, so one of them.
I just don't see. You know, Everton don't score goals. You know, they've got Calvert-Lewin up top. Who's more interested in wearing a dress and walking a catwalk. You know. Plus he's made of glass. You know, they're a joke.
I've seen the state of him. Jesus.
Oh, honestly, it's pathetic.
Right.
You know, like the thing is, I feel sorry for Sean Dyche because I like him. But when he went there, I was kind of like, well, I want him. You know, I've always wanted Sean Dyche to do well, but you know, at the end of the day, you can be the best manager in keeping people up all you want, but it'll keep keeping teams up. But you know, you look at Allardyce, he had a record, but he went to West Brom, he couldn't do it there. You look at Hodgson, he went to Watford, he couldn't do it there. So it's these managers, they're not invincible, you know, when it comes to clubs. And I just can't see how Everton are going to stay up if they don't score goals.
No, I know. Right, we're going to move into Championship. Let's see what's going on there. So we know Burnley's up, we know Sheffield United's up. Still all to play for. Well, it's not all. We know Luton, Middlesbrough in the playoffs. Coventry City having a great season, aren't they?
Brilliant.
We're going to be bringing up a little bit of vintage footage from Coventry in a little while.
Unbelievable.
Aren't we, Callie?
They had a lot of games in hand, didn't they? And, you know, it's all right having the games in hand, but you've got to win them. And they've done really well.
Yeah, Coventry have. You did say about them before having all them games in hand, didn't you?
Yeah.
And but they've certainly made the most of it. And I mean, to be fair, looking at it, they're pretty solid. It's only Sunderland. Sunderland, they've got to win by goals because Coventry do have the better goal difference.
Yeah, you got Millwall last game of the season as well, Millwall versus Blackburn.
Yeah, for me, it's between Millwall, Sunderland, and West Brom for that last spot.
Well, Blackburn are in there as well because they've got Millwall. So obviously, if they go to Millwall,
they ain't got. No, they'd have to win about 10-0, mate.
Have they dropped that far down?
Oh no, Millwall. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Blackburn got Millwall.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. They've got a really bad goal difference, but yeah, right. So Blackburn, Millwall, massive game. But yeah, they've got a really bad goal difference, Blackburn. Yeah. So even if Sunderland or West Brom pick up a win, Blackburn can't come near it unless they win about 12-0.
Right.
Well, they couldn't anyway. But anyway, that seems to be that. Just down on the bottom there, then Wigan, Blackpool, Reading still in with a shout. Could catch Rotherham. Rotherham do have a game in hand, mind. Huddersfield got their win today, so I think that's put them safe. Rotherham got a game in hand over Reading, and they're 2 points ahead. Wigan, Blackpool, I suspect Reading, but it is between them and Rotherham for that last spot.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll touch on Leagues 1 and 2, and then we'll have a break with some funnies and some vintage footage, and then we'll move into the world of non-league, where there's a lot of talking points, good and bad. Right, okay, so League 1, Plymouth, Ipswich up. We've already mentioned that. Playoffs, really looking at this, it's playoffs, Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, Bolton, and then it's between Derby and Peterborough.
4 big teams.
Currently, Derby having the upper hand.
4 big teams, isn't it?
Yeah. So 2 points ahead of Peterborough, but Peterborough get a win and Derby lose. Looking at this, Derby only need a draw. Yeah, they've got the better goal difference. So if Derby even picks up a draw, and as long as Peterborough don't win by 4 clear goals.
Yeah.
So Derby in the driving seat there. What do you think, Nige?
Yeah, pretty much. It's in their hands at the moment, but
who they got next week?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the fixtures for next week, but
hang on. Hang on, and I'll tell you. So we're looking for what we're looking for. We're looking for Derby and Peterborough for next week. Bear with me, and I'll get there sooner or bloody later. Right. Here we go. Saturday, the 6th of May, and they're not playing on the 6th of May,
Sunday.
are they? Right, okay, here we go. So, both are away from home. Barnsley, Peterborough away at Barnsley, so that's a tough game for Peterborough there. And Derby bloody hell, they're away at Sheffield Wednesday. So, yeah, both have got real tough games.
You say that, though, but Barnsley and Sheffield Wednesday are both going to rest players, aren't they, for the playoffs? You know what I mean?
Good point.
You know, they'd be absolutely mad to play their best players with a game because don't the playoffs follow the following midweek? So they're not going to be risking anyone. You know, I think they're guaranteed the positions they're in as well. So
yeah,
you know, they're not going to.
Right, okay. Let's quickly go back to League One and finish that one off. And then we're going to have a break, folks. We're going to have a bit of fun, and we're going to have some vintage footage from Derby County. Right, the playoffs going down, though. Forest Green Rovers dead and buried completely. Accrington Stanley, they're down. Cambridge United are in with a fighting chance with Morecambe, and it's between three for that, isn't it? Well, so you've got Cambridge, Morecambe, and then Milton Keynes Dons just above that. But either Morecambe and Cambridge can capture. Cambridge looking better, actually, because they got more games. They got another game in hand, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they're as good as safe now, to be fair.
You know, so could be looking there. Forest Green, Accrington Stanley, Milton Keynes Dons, and Morecambe for the chop. Okay, quickly into League Two. We already know that Leyton Orient have won that league. Right, League Two, folks, and we'll have a break. Leyton Orient, Stevenage, we both know, are promoted. Northampton having a very bad result against Bradford City yesterday. Still sitting the promotion place, third one, 2 points ahead of Stockport. Stockport County, Carlisle, Salford, Bradford. I would say that's going to be the battle there is for that last promotion spot. Mansfield are down in 8th, but they're 3 points behind and they're quite heavily behind in goals. So I think we are looking at the only real battle next week is going to be between Stockport County and Northampton.
It's going to be interesting because Northampton this time last year, they went to Bristol Rovers, I believe, and the promotion was in their hands. And the only way I think they lost is if they conceded like so many goals. And Bristol Rovers ended up scoring 7. Is that right? And
yes,
I can't remember exactly what who went up, who did, but I know that it meant that Northampton basically bottled it in the biggest fashion. And everyone's saying, they're going to do it again. They've got to go to Tranmere, and obviously Stockport have got Hartlepool at home who have already been relegated. So you'd back Stockport to win. But it's all on Northampton, really.
Northampton have got to get a result. They've got to get
exactly
a result.
Exactly. If they win their game, they're up. That's all they've got to do. But it's easier said than done, isn't it, at this stage of the season?
And relegated into the non-league, into the National League, are Hartlepool and Rochdale. Yeah,
and Rochdale have been a Football League team for years.
Yeah.
Absolutely years.
Hartlepool, a bit of a yo-yo side.
Yeah. It's actually a rarity, because in recent years, so many teams have gone up from the National League and have done well. Like they've either gone up again or they've been top half. You look at Grimsby, you look at what Forest Green done, Salford, these teams, even Sutton United, they went up, didn't they? All these teams, none of them have struggled, and Hartlepool have been the only one in recent years that have really struggled and gone back down. And, you look at this year. Yeah, and you look at this year as well. Obviously, we'll talk about it in a minute, but the National League, Wrexham have obviously gone up. Maybe Notts County or Chesterfield or someone else will follow. You don't really expect whoever goes up from that league to struggle because there's not much between the bottom half of League Two and the top half of the National League.
I'll tell you what, the one thing for me that stands out most about what we're going to discuss after our little venture into the funnies and the vintage footage is who went down from the National League.
Yeah.
3 huge clubs at that level.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for our discussion next. Right, we're going to move off it. We're going to move on to the National League very shortly. Darren's putting. We've got lots of comments about the National League, the non-league football. I will backtrack any comments that have been made, but before we do that, we are going to do. We're going to do the funnies first, or should we do that? No, we're going to do this first. No, so we had Mr. Barnes on last week with Nigel. Both of them playing together at Watford. The 2 wings covered nicely there. I just think this is a great opportunity now to show you, and I believe Nigel believes this is one of his best games he's ever played in. I'm going to show you just how good our Cali was. So get a load of this. This is Derby County versus Coventry City.
Skills here in Derby's 2-0 win over Coventry at the baseball ground.
Contrasting luck for 2 marksmen. Derby's Andy Garner, battling against Gian Davison for a regular spot, had a first-half effort clutched by Ogrizovic. Coventry's Keith Houchin, vying with Regis and Speedy for a permanent position, had a well-placed header beaten out by Peter Shilton. And Houchin did well to get in a shot following a mistake by Mark Wright, but he could only direct the ball at the impenetrable barrier of Shilton. Bennett and Houchin set up Mickey Ginn for one of his typical scuttling sorties at the Derby defence. But as Ginn shaped up for a pot at Shilton, Houchin had similar ideas and the chance was gone for Coventry. But Derby broke away to take the lead. Callahan's cross glanced in by an ecstatic Andy Garner. That goal certainly brought Derby to life. And Bobby Davison, again supplied by Nigel Callahan, had a shot on the run tipped over by Steve Ogrizovic. Then Davison showed his versatility. Back in defence, he headed clear for Callahan to set off on a memorable journey. Callahan's supposed to be homesick, but he looked quite settled at the baseball ground on Saturday. A run the length of the pitch set up Garner for a simple chance he gratefully accepted. So Garner on the score sheet twice, but no wonder he embraced Nigel Callahan.
Hey, Callie, tell us a little bit about that.
Running them days.
Go on. I didn't realise Derby had such a good team. I didn't.
Yeah, Schultz in goal.
Yeah, Mark Wright in the back. I didn't realise he played for Derby. I know you had Schultz in goal. There's some team Derby had them.
Yeah, we had Paul Goddard, Trevor Hibbard, Mick Harford come there, Stapleton.
Yeah,
that's some players down there. But yeah, that was a good game. I mean, like baseball ground, as you can see, it's hardly got any grass on it anyway. But it was definitely the best goal I never scored, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, brilliant run, mate. Fantastic. Right, okay. Next up then, folks. Right, so now this has been actually, this is something you sent me, Callie. And now this is a crazy penalty from, got to be one of the best players ever, isn't he? Mr. Cruyff. Watch this, folks. I'll do that again because that was quick. Didn't make that again. There's nothing in the rule book says you can't take a penalty like that, is there?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You just can't touch it twice, can you?
Yeah.
So he's passed it. The guy's running for the rebound. He's passed it back to him. Tapped it in there.
What an amazing player he was.
Yeah, it was always a Cruyff term, wasn't it? Everyone,
yeah,
he was miles ahead of the game, around Cruyff.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Right, gonna have some funnies. I'll tell you what, we haven't played our intro to this for a little while. Let's do it. Right, okay. So the funnies, we've got a few today, actually. I'm going to start with, I'll tell you what, we needed VAR for this. So was this a trip? Should VAR have pulled this one up? Have a look. Oh, mate, that was too quick. So this is West Ham Palace, and I think you've missed the trip. That's a shame. Hang on, let me try it again. Yeah, mate, you missed it. That's a dive all day long, isn't it? Has that been a penalty? I've seen it. It's just a bit of a trip, but the West Ham fans did definitely feel they should have had a penalty for that. Right, this is what happens when you pull up on a motorway to have a Waz. This is Newcastle United fans on an away day.
We've all done it. You know, I'll say
They have and Deck playing in the background.
That was you at Kaiserslautern, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, Kaiser, mate, listen, I had to get carried back on the coach. I was that pissed. We pulled into Metz on the way to Kaiserslautern in 84. Oh, man, I don't remember crossing the border into Germany or nothing. And it's my biggest regret because I was so badly pissed that my memory of the experience, which was the only one Watford ever really got that you could get to, it's vague. I was in a right mess.
I've done the same, but Doncaster, I left. Well, I got kicked out of Doncaster away, and I was like trying to wander back, trying to find my way back, and there was like this grass verge sort of like drop into a car park, and I was like, oh, there's a bus over there, like a shuttle bus thing. And I was absolutely steaming, and I thought, oh, I'll just hop over that little fence to get down there, and there was about a 12-foot drop the other side, so I've just got bang like that. Literally, and it was pitch black as well. So, yeah, not ideal.
Some of the things, man. As you see sites like that, it's funny. I'm guessing he had a bloody headache because he clunked his head pretty. I'm guessing he must have had an headache. Right, okay. There was that one. And what was the other one? Oh, I'll tell you what we're going to do. So it was the Scottish Cup semi-finals today. And the atmosphere and the way the pyrotechnic thing, I think we're the only country that says no, it's against the law. But Scotland and the rest of Europe seem to do it.
They seem to embrace it, mate. They seem to embrace it. It's atmosphere, isn't it?
Lovely to know what the fans behind these, what I'm about to show you, say. Did any of them have asthma attacks or anything? Because, we do seem to be the only country that don't allow this for health reasons, and maybe that's genuine. I'm not sure. But this was the Celtics. I'm going to show you the two pictures because there's what happened after is quite funny. So this is the Celtic supporters today up at Hampden Park, as you can see. And then the other end of the ground at the same time, this was happening. Like I say, I'd love to know whether the people behind all that smoke dislike it or do they embrace it? I don't know. But
I can't talk for Rangers for Celtic, but I know Rangers. Obviously, they've got the Union Bears, and they all sit together, and it's all organised, and they've got they do it regularly. So all them people that are sitting sort of there, they're all in black. And
know it's happening. Obviously, both ends was organised. Now, this is the aftermath. And this is, I don't know if it delayed kickoff, but have a look at this.
Delayed. So I watched this game and another mistake from Rangers, unfortunately. But delayed kickoff by about 3 or 4 minutes. Nothing major. So basically, it looks worse than it is on this picture because obviously at pitch level it was fine. This is just obviously camera level. But it was only 2 or 3 minutes and it cleared anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, brilliant. Right, okay, folks, we are going to get onto the non-league in a minute, but we've got a few more things to go through first. Secondly, the last of the funnies, we've spoke about Arsenal. Now, is this Paddy Power taking it a little bit too far? This is what they've had delivered. Paddy Power, really? I can't imagine Arsenal were too happy about it. But there you go, taking the mick a bit there, don't you think?
It's not the first time, though, is it? It won't be the last time. At the end of the day, they're very clever, Paddy Power, because it's all marketing.
Yeah, of course.
It's all. Do you know what I mean? It's very clever. It's like when they do these bets and they pay out early and stuff like that. It's all very clever what they do.
I just
yeah,
brilliant. But just quickly, not funny, but just a quick shout out. This was Ipswich Town fans. I think it was Tuesday night.
Yeah,
which is a night game. I know they've been promoted, but 5,000 travelled up to Barnsley. Fantastic support from Ipswich there. There's been great support all round this weekend, especially in the non-league.
Yeah.
Before we go, well, no, let's move to non-league. I'm going to move in with this, though. This is an interesting one. I just want to get your opinion on this, and maybe anyone else would like to give their opinion, please do so. So this is Worthing, have just been promoted, and they are offering a special deal of 10 season season ticket for £2,000. Okay, now initially I guess you'd think, wow, £2,000, but actually when you work that out, that does seem quite reasonable, being that your season ticket prices over 10 years will go up. That sounds to me like a cracking deal. Do you a rebate if you die in 5 years? I wonder.
That's my question, wasn't
it? That would be my question. What happens if I die in a couple of years? If you're 80 odd, I don't think it's a good investment. All right. And the first thing that come into my head, mate.
It was literally the first thing that came into mind as well.
I'll be 67 by the time I got to renew my season ticket. I don't know about that.
Thing is, like, would you be able to pay it off in instalments, or is that a one-off payment?
Not sure.
See, I mean, like, if it's paying off in instalments, that'd be quite a good offer to most people.
So someone commented on our page, right? Because when I posted this on the page, there was a lot of mixed messages, and a lot of people were saying if you go week in, week out, it's a no-brainer, right? Which is fine, but you got to have £2,000 spare, obviously. But apparently Portsmouth done something very similar quite a few years ago, and someone commented and put, "Well, look what happened to them." Very fair point. There was Premier League, there was FA Cup finalists. They have dropped out of the leagues, and if they. I don't know what they're limiting the tickets at, if they're offering maybe say 300, 400, 500 of these or more. But if they offer say a couple of thousand of these and they're taken up, they're going to get a lot of money in, straight away. And it's great if you want like sort of investment straight away. But all their kind of investment and their ticket sales money is going to dry up in 3 or 4 years' time, isn't it?
Good point. In 6 years' time, they haven't got that money coming in like they would at. Yeah. So is that good for the? I don't know. Yeah. It sounds to me like a good deal as long as they have a rebate process. If you snuff it in that.
What's quite interesting is they're in the playoffs this year in the National League South.
Yeah.
So if they was to win that, obviously they're straight into the National League.
Yeah.
So that's quite. Let's be honest. All I can compare it to, mate, is so I was looking at going to football on Saturday. I didn't go yesterday, but I looked at Kidderminster up my way. And it was £19 for a ticket to go and watch them play Kettering at home. And I thought £19 for National League North football, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Like you say, if Worthing are doing this, is it Worthing? Yeah, they're doing this offer. If that's 20, if they say like it's 20 games a season, 20 home games, that's £10 a ticket.
Yeah, Kettering Town, although relegated now, but Kettering Town were £15.
Yeah,
to get in that league. Well, it puts us in nicely to look at all the ups and downs. Greg, I know you've done some great work on this.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to pop up here because I've got it all in front of me as well. Give us some rundown on what's been going on, mate, and then we'll.
So you want me to sort of go from the National League downwards, yeah?
Yeah, let's have a look at it, and then we can talk about it. And I'll everyone who's put comments on, don't worry, I will backtrack and bring up all the comments.
Yeah, so obviously the National League finished yesterday, and the playoffs were all sorted out. So the playoff games are Woking against Bromley and Barnet against Boreham Wood. Southend did win against Wealdstone, but they missed out because Boreham Wood won. Maidenhead were relegated a good while back, and Maidstone relegated a long while back. They've struggled big time in the National League, so they were down. Scunthorpe and Yeovil also down. I know you want to touch on that in a minute, Gal.
You've got it. Let's stop there for a second then.
Yeah.
That, to me, you've got Scunthorpe, you've got Yeovil and Torquay. I've seen all three of them play in league football.
Yeah.
I remember 10 years ago them coming to Vicarage Road and stomping us 3-0.
Yeah, it was 10 years ago. Yeovil come to Watford 3-0, yeah. Scunthorpe away as well, 10, 12 years ago.
You know.
And I'll tell you what as well, and I won't
I've seen Torquay play league football as well.
Yeah, and it's do you know what as well? This is the thing, and we will stick to non-league, but I just want to make one point, right? And it's not just solely about Watford, but other teams as well who, you know, are in discontent with their ownership or whatever. You look at teams like Scunthorpe and Yeovil, and it kind of makes you think, hang on a minute, it could be a lot worse. Do you know what I mean? It could be a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
So, you know, there is a little bit of that. And I've got to be honest, when I looked into this a little bit, this was obviously going back 6 months, and you see them struggling and financially, especially Yeovil. And obviously Scunthorpe had a takeover as well, I think, at some point. And you kind of think, Christ, you know, these, you know, they've just been on a downward spiral for years, you know, and that's just like proper doom and gloom, not a bad 15, 20 games, you know, that's the difference.
No, absolutely. But yeah, it's amazing what the people that have been relegated out of the league, let alone getting promoted. Okay, carry on, mate.
Yeah, that's all right. I thought the Torquay, the sort of like to stay up was quite interesting yesterday. So obviously Torquay needed a 6-goal swing with Maidenhead. Maidenhead had Gateshead away, 3-0 down at half time, 4-0 down just after half time. So Gateshead were obviously doing their thing. Torquay go 1-0 up at home to Wrexham, who are obviously on the beach, got nothing to play for. And you're thinking, Christ, suddenly Torquay only need a goal here. And they're up, and it'd be a hell of a story. And then it all kind of anticlimax. Obviously, Wrexham went and scored, and that was the end of that. But for 5 minutes or so, you're thinking they could pull off the impossible here, you know. So it's a real shame. Obviously, you don't want anyone to go down. I'm not saying I wanted Maidenhead to go down, but it's a real shame that Torquay have dropped out of the league. You know, they're a side I think that should be better and higher than they are. And it was only last year or the year before they was in the playoff final. So. You know, going down into National League North, AFC filed. They got promoted yesterday, so they've been like a ding dong with Kings Lynn for most of the season, to be honest. But I think it was a case. I think they had a few games in hand, and it was a case of if they win their games in hand, they'll go up. And they managed to go up yesterday. They was away at Bradford Park Avenue, so they went up. And Gloucester City got the last playoff place in that league with a 93rd minute goal. And that was against Chorley. And just a quick one on that game as well. Chorley were winning 3-2 with 5 minutes to go. And Chorley at the time, because of other results, they was 5th, I believe, or 4th or 5th in the playoffs. They ended up losing 4-3. And obviously a few other results went against them as well. In the space of 5 minutes, they ended up going from 4th in the league to 12th in the league.
No!
Yeah. Unbelievable. That's how close it was. I think there was 6 teams that could get in the playoffs on the last day in that league.
Jesus.
You know, the likes of Scarborough and a few others as well. Yeah. So, and I'll probably leave this one up to you, Gal, because you know a little bit more about them than me. But National League South, I'll just quickly, Dulwich Hamlet got relegated and St Albans secure playoffs, but Weymouth stayed up. Obviously, I know you've got a bit of an affiliation with them, and you've got a mate, I think, who likes them.
I used to have a caravan down there, and I think they're a great little club, and it's such a shame the way it really looked like they were doomed from literally at the beginning of the season. They were getting hammered. Yeah. Andrew Brown, who's a regular on here, and obviously we have Matty, who's a regular on here, Weymouth supporters. Just wow! I mean, they pulled off the great escape there, without a doubt. To stay up. We're a 2-0 win at Dover, and I've seen the footage, mate. And I've got to say, about the support they had at Dover was mad. But there was some fantastic support for these clubs. You know, absolutely.
It's unbelievable. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is the atmosphere, the attendance, unbelievable as well.
Just mention to my local club. I'll probably go along. I don't know what league they've joined, but obviously Kettering losing to Kidderminster put them down. Kettering, Once
Do you know what, Gal? I was going
That's
to say to you, I think that will mean that Kettering and Stourbridge will be in the same league again next season. So
okay,
maybe
so there's 2 games we can do together.
so maybe we can do a little bit of a proper
I
football.
think we will do. We
proper
will
football
do.
day out. Yeah.
I hope so. That'd be great. Yeah, that really would be good.
One thing I just want to say about non-league quickly. I know obviously a few people have been commenting and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've got to come on to that. Yeah.
Team, not far from me, next town to Stourbridge, Hales Owen. So Hales Owen were always in the Southern Prem Central. They've always been around that level. They got relegated the other year. They failed to go back up, but they are one of the bigger teams in that league. They had their playoff final at home to Spalding yesterday. There was 3,250 fans there, which for that level is, it's 2 leagues below National League.
Yeah.
3 leagues below National League.
They was in the same league as Colton Town last season.
Exactly, yeah. So they're 3,250 fans there. They won 2-1 after extra time. So I saw quite a few pictures and videos from that. They had a pitch invasion, and so they're back at the level they probably should be at. And obviously Stourbridge have got their derby back as well next year. So yeah, so there's some good stories coming out from the areas around me. Lytown as well. They managed to get promoted to step 5 for the first time in their history. Sorry, step 4 for the first time in their history.
Dudley got promoted up your end and all.
They did, yeah. So
right, there's so many other workshop and people like that all been promoted. So
Workington, Sudbury, Long Eaton, Whitehawk.
Long Eaton, Whitehawk. What's that? Lytown? What's I never heard of that.
Lytown. It's a tiny little place, mate. Tiny little place. They've always kind of like not been knocking about in like the West Midlands League. They got into the league above that, and then they played St Neots away. And I believe St Neots were in the league above them. I think St Neots have kind of like nosedived a bit. And then they played them away in a playoff final. Not expected to get anything out of the game. And then they went there and won 6-1.
The pronunciation, that's great. It's St Neots. We because it ain't far from me. I think I've always known it to be pronounced St Neots.
Oh, is that what it is? Right, fair play. I'll take your word for that.
Yeah.
I'm usually quite good with a pronunciation as well. Obviously not on that occasion.
How do you pronounce that? Flied, is it? What is it?
No, filed, that one.
Filed. I never get it right.
I know.
Not poor old Nigel's feeling a bit neglected here, I think. Before I go on to comments, Nigel, anything about the non-league you want to mention, or any of the clubs you know?
No. I'm not being funny, lads, but I'm not really. I don't go into the non-leagues.
All right, we've had a lot of comments. Let's do that. Congratulations to Wokinton, who have been promoted out of the Northern Premier League West. Much deserved. Glad they got that. 3.5 hours. All right, okay. Yeah, right. I'll get that one. I think it's a long old trip. Gutted for Scansdale United, been relegated because their ground doesn't meet standards of the league. That's harsh, but I suppose if you know the standards, you got to stick by it, haven't you? But yeah, that's a real gutter, isn't it? Just dropping down. I just wanted to cover because we've had a few.
Few people moaning about the price of the tickets at non-league. And again, like that, the reason that's happening is because of the players and agents. The players
Look, the same problem like you're seeing in football in general. The clubs, even at the very, very top
it's a
of
fans
the game, struggling
for it.
Yeah.
I think what it is as well is I think there's some big sides that are dropping into the likes of the North and South now, and you look at the North, you look at teams like Darlington, Chester, Kidderminster, they're
Hereford.
Do you know what I mean? They're teams that they're well supported. They're big sides really, and they probably feel like they can charge that because of the stature in their name and that sort of thing. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. I wasn't prepared to go and pay 19 quid to watch Kiddie yesterday. Personally, that's just me. But
Nigel's absolutely right. I mean, the problem you face, and we know this from having people on from clubs that we discussed, Chippenham and Colton and Billericay. They're up against sides that are spending big money, and they got no way of competing with that money, and so therefore, obviously, I think non-league football, other than a few that are got a lot of investment from money, but most of the clubs down there are completely reliant on the gate receipts for their survival. Unlike, a lot of the bigger clubs in non-league, and it's a mirror image of what goes on in the top league, Nigel, isn't it? Really, in a smaller way. So what you see in the Premier League is almost played out in the National League, isn't it?
Tickets, they're charging more money for tickets for non-league games, but do the players that are getting these stupid wages at these clubs justify that wage? I don't think half the players playing at that level deserve what they get.
No, they're on big money. Some of them. I mean,
don't think they deserve it. I mean, put it into reality. They're nowhere near playing pro football. They're nowhere near League Two. At some of them clubs they're playing at, they're nowhere near League Two standards. So why are they getting so much money at that level? And that's what's causing the problems with the football grounds going under and struggling financially. Yeah. Sorry, but that's me. I worked hard to put a career out of football and earn what I could, and I played at the top level. And honestly, it really pisses me off,
mate. You know my opinion on the whole thing with players and the wages. I think, the fact that you can't blame a player. Because, if someone says, oh, we're going to pay you £1 million a week, then you're going to go, right, yeah, carry on. But, you've got to look at how this has been allowed to get out of control. And there's a lot of people in the higher echelons of football need to wobble their head because, as we said, and as I've said many, many times, even your likes of Chelsea, Man City and all them, they do not cover what they earn. They rely on the investment coming in from the Sheikhs and the Yanks because they do not. Any other company, if your income is less than your outgoings, then you're deemed insolvent. Nearly all football clubs are in that. Very few that aren't in the position of their income doesn't cover their outgoings. They then have to have. You look at Chelsea, and I've said this so many times, and we'll get back to your non-league comments, folks. I've said this so many times. You've only got to look at the Abramovich situation. That club over 20 years was lent £2 billion because their income is not as big as their outgoings. And this is all down to player wages.
Yeah.
Simple as. And it is a smaller mirrored version in non-league, unfortunately.
Like Callie said as well, and I think we touched on this a few weeks back, or maybe a couple of months back, where we were talking about wages again. And the players in the National League, they're paid a lot of money now. They're all professional teams, and this is the thing: they're all professional, and they're all paid a lot of money. These players,
some of them £3,000-4,000 a week.
Yeah. Wasn't it didn't we have someone on here who was a Darlington fan? Is that right? And he was saying about it as well. That do you remember? And,
Ben's mentioned about a certain player. I can't remember what his name was now. Who plays for Macclesfield, who are not even anywhere near the National League.
Yeah.
On something like £2,500-3,000 a week.
Crazy money.
Absolutely mad. Right, let's get back to the comments. Darren Ashley, hello Darren. How are you? Great little video you did at Brackley yesterday, by the way. National League playoffs. Right, okay. So National League playoffs. This is the most confusing thing I find. National League playoffs is try to explain it. Work like this: the second and third in the league have a week off. Fourth plays seventh. Fifth plays sixth. The winners of those two matches play away in the semi-finals to the teams who came second and third.
Yeah.
The winners of those then go to the final. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
So basically, to give you a breakdown, Woking have got Bromley midweek, and
hang on, I think I've got a little thing that might help.
I did send a picture. Yeah.
And bear with me. Let me pop this up, and then that might make it.
And it's exactly the same for.
Is this the one?
No, that's not the one. No.
Oh, no. That ain't the one. All right, sorry.
Nah. It's all right, but yeah, basically, Woking have got Bromley, Boreham Wood have got Barnet away, and basically whoever wins them games, the winner of Boreham Wood and Barnet will go to Notts County at the weekend, I think, and then the winner of Woking and Bromley will go to Chesterfield. Wow. So and then the final for the National League is at Wembley, whereas I don't know where the finals are for the National League North and South. I don't know if they've even been decided, but someone on here might know. But yeah, that's basically the way it works, and it's the same for the North and South as well. But someone said to me that apparently that they are changing the format. I don't think it's next season, potentially the season after. I don't know if that's been finalised or not, but they need to change the format because it's criminal. You look at Notts County not going up; it's absolutely criminal.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Right. Moving on, Andrew Brown, obviously Weymouth supporter. I bet he's happy as Larry. Good. Hope Notts County win the National League playoffs would be a travesty. If yeah, absolutely right. Look at the points. So he's just really agreeing that. As we run down,
Andrew's just said the North and South finals are at the higher placed team. That makes sense. Yeah,
they're where? Sorry,
they're at the higher placed team, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Not sure about it. Good for support, maybe, but I'm not sure. I've missed that one. Ben Cliff. It's a good offer along. This was talking about the Woking deal. Sorry, missed that one. Not sure about it. Good offer for supporters, but not so good. Yeah, I think we mentioned that about the budgeting for the club. It surely doesn't work. Just finished my season ticket at Darlow, 500 club. Was for 8 seasons. Oh, wow. So, Jeff, just confirm that. You had a season ticket for Darlington, National League North, for 8 seasons for 500 quid. Just confirm that, mate, if you would. That'd be great.
That's fantastic, if so.
Yeah, just confirm that. Jeff's been on the show before. Matty at UK Casual, £19 too much for the league. Congratulations to our neighbours, Congleton Town. I did give them a shout out last week, winning the Cheshire FA Vars, beating Altrincham. I see that, and they had a great little support up there as well at Altrincham as well. Brilliant. Ticket at Darlow, 15 quid, just as it is at Kettering. Andrew Brown, Yeovil are in a right mess. Staff weren't paid last week. Supposed new owners hasn't completed the deal, could be going under at this rate. That'd be a real shame. Do you remember?
It would, yeah.
Do you remember when they used to be the big non-league FA Cup with the sloping killers with the sloping pitch, Nigel? He's feeling that left out. He's forgot about us. Do you remember Yeovil being the big FA Cup giant and had that famous sloping pitch, didn't they, at the time?
Yeah, I think I played it once.
Yeah, I've been there once, midweek game as well. But they're back down now. I wonder if they'll continue with their FA Cup exploits as they used to quite a few years ago. Lots of West Country teams in the National League South next season. That will save people a lot of money. Andrew's pointing that out, that it's Weymouth, Yeovil, Bath, Torquay, Western-super-Mare, because they've just been promoted. Congratulations to them. Chippenham, who our friend Steve is the financial director there. Taunton. He might as well call it the West Country League. Blimey. Fantastic at Dover supporting Weymouth. 300 went down, making it a brilliant atmosphere. 1-2-0 out of, absolutely. Did they do fancy dress like Kidsgrove did? And you know what? I did have pictures last week, but the John Barnes went so well. Kidsgrove having a great day out in fancy dress. Again, a mention for Hells Owen. Macclesfield are the money bags in non-league. The money is insane. One player on... I got that wrong. So that's right. It was Ben who mentioned this. One of them players at Macclesfield is on £3,500 a week.
Unbelievable.
That's that right.
That's unreal, isn't it?
How is that anywhere near right?
And they're nowhere near the National League, are they? Are they 3 or 4 leagues below it or something? They're nowhere
they are, yeah. I mean, they will get back up there.
They will get back up, but... Christ, that's just...
£3,500, Nigel.
He's got to have something on the chairman, I think.
Oh, mate.
Going out of his daughter or something.
22 quid to get in at Bromley. That's at National League level. What do you think to that price then at National League?
I do think the National League's improved.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think...
22 quid?
15 to 20, I think, is acceptable for National League. Maybe 20 is all right.
Yeah,
but for me, like I said, I keep going back to Kidderminster. That's National League North, and I was just like, I ain't paying that. You know what I mean? Like the 20 quid for that, for 19, 20 quid.
I've had a lot
for
of
National League, yeah. Maybe
I'm going to have to quickly rattle through because we're running over it, but I did promise I would get everyone's messages out there. Only reason Darlow missed out on playoffs, lost 3 of the best players at Christmas. Kidsgrove weekly salary for the entire squad, including management, coaching staff, workers, etc., is £2,500 a week. That's more like it, isn't it, Nige? That's for the entire club.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
more like it. That's more like it. That really is.
I just think, I just think that you've got to remember, it's not about they're playing for this club and they're getting that wages. People have got to remember what standard of football they're playing in, what the league is. Get that into perspective. Some of these players need to get off the high horses and think that they're better players than what they are, because they're not.
Yeah, I think at times football players wobble their heads a bit. Like I say, you can't blame them for taking money, but
no, that's it. If you're offered it, you're going to take it, aren't you? Like we all would.
You know absolutely.
Just a quick one, Cal. Jeff replied. He said about the Darlington ticket. He said it was called the 500 Club. It was £1,200 for the seasons. So, like all in all. So, what did you say? It was 8 years.
Good deal.
Still a good deal, yeah.
Still a good deal. £1,200 for 8 years.
Yeah, it's good.
Can't grumble at that. Replying. I think something to do. Oh, interesting to see how South Shields will do next season. This is an interesting one.
Talking of South Shields, just a quick on South Shields. So obviously Kevin Phillips has left.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was sacked.
Nigel discovered Kevin Phillips, by the way.
He's one of the favourites to go to Walsall, isn't he?
Apparently. Oh, is he?
Yeah, but obviously they've gone and South Shields. They've kind of stuck to the same trend, so they've gone and appointed Julio Arca, who used to play for Sunderland as well. And apparently he was on the coaching staff and played for South Shields, I believe. So it's kind of they've stuck to the same kind of, they've got promoted, but they've given Julio Arca the job. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they go. Someone wrote on here that obviously they're the money men. They've got the money.
Phillips has gone to Walsall, has he?
I don't think he's gone yet, but I know he was one of the favourites. So
Nigel discovered at Baldock Town.
Yeah, I think I've heard this story before. Yeah.
Didn't you, Nigel?
Yeah.
He's so left out on this one.
Glenn Roder was manager of Watford at the time.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Sorry, Nigel. I know this isn't your fault.
Sorry, no, listen. I was going to say, lads, I've got to go.
We've run over. I think.
Yeah, we're done now. I think.
I'll leave you to it because you're obviously more clued up on the non-league than I am. So.
Yeah. No, we've had to cover it today because it was the last one of the season. Yeah. Just going over stuff. Folks, we've come to the end of the show. We've got to put Nigel out his misery, bless him. And we've run over anyway. Well done to everyone who has been promoted, those that have stayed up. Commiserations to all the relegated clubs. I hope you have a better season next year. Last words from you then, Nigel.
Yeah, are we on next week?
I'm not about next week.
Are we on next week? Yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. We just to say that though, let me just mention, people, we will be having a break, probably a 6-week break. When that will start, because it's a really weird season. Because next week's the last of the championship games and the non-league's done. We've got obviously the EFL finishing next week. But the Premier League goes on a bit longer, but we've got all the playoffs with that. So we will have a few more weeks of shows. Then we will have a 6-week break till next season. Lots and lots of work going into next season already started, which is all exciting. But yeah, so be prepared to not put up with our mugs every Sunday for a period coming shortly. But yeah, next week, Nige. Last words from you then, Greg.
No, all good, mate. All good. Good to be back. Obviously, last week I was busy. Next week I'm busy, so I'll be on and off as the weeks go by, sort of thing. But good to have a good catch up. And obviously, the non-league is drawn to an end, and the relegation back to the Premier League is very exciting.
And Nigel's thinking, thank God for that.
I'm just thinking, can we talk about women's football instead?
But no, like I say, it's going to. I think obviously now that's done and dusted. Obviously, it's going to be really interesting, isn't it? Like the relegation of the Premier League and promotion Championship League One. It's going to be playoffs. Yeah. Playoffs are going to be good. Playoffs are going to be good.
Well, we're going to see what Derby County do next week, Nige. Right, that's it then, folks. For me, it's just normal. Be safe. Catch us next week. I'm hoping Dan will be doing the show, as I may not be able to next week. but we shall have to see. Have a great week, everyone. Be safe, be good, and I am just looking for my closing thing. Here we go. Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
The Proper Football Live Show, Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and PF Radio. Check out our website at